What is Togekiss going to do here? Can Lucario even turn this around? Not after a skitter smack, but that's going to be all she wrote. Good night, Lucario. Togepi and Togekiss, after a tough battle, are going through to the semi-finals. Welcome back to another episode of MetroMania. In last week's episode, we said farewell to Lucario and Riolu in a surprise turn of events as Togepi and Togekiss moved on to become our second semi-finalists. They'll be taking on Snorlax and Munchlax in the first of our semi-finals, but we need some competitors for semi-final 2, so let's find out the first team as Wobbuffet and Wynaut take on Magmortar and Magby. Here we go. Wobbuffet and Wynaut versus Magmortar and Magby in MetroMania Season 11, Quarter-Final 3. We're already halfway through the quarterfinals. It will be the semi-finals before we know it, but we are still well on the road to the semis. We've got to make our way through. Here we see Meteor Mash starting things off from Magby. On to Wynaut, start things off for a big chunk of damage there. And now over to the big bruising Magmortar, who's going to be a big player in this battle, who goes for a Thunder Punch. On to Wynaut as well. They're doubling into the Wynaut. I mean, why not? Oh god, I just fell for it. Why not take out one of your opponents ASAP and then leave the other opponent in a 1-on-2 situation? Sheer Cold from Wobbuffet misses, but here's a super effective smackdown from Wynaut. Onto the Magby there for a big chunk of damage for saying it came from a Wynaut. This really could go either way at the moment, but Wynaut has taken significant damage already, and if Magby and Magmortar continue to target it, then it's going to be a problem. We see no retreat from Magby, which basically just gives you a free +1 to all of your stats because there's no retreating anyway in this metronome battle. So now over to Magmortar. They see Magby with the +1 attack, defense, special attack, special defense, and speed. Magmortar goes for rest, but its HP is full. Big mistake. Can Wobbuffet capitalize here? What's she going to do here? Wobbuffet's going to go for Prismatic Laser, which will have same type attack bonus behind it. It does mean that Wobbuffet will have to recharge next turn, but it did a great chunk of damage there to Magmortar, and now over to Wynaut. What's Wynaut going to do in response? Goes for Dynamic Punch, and is actually going to land it here for barely any damage to Magmortar, but the key component there is the confusion that has been applied to Magmortar. So now Magmortar has a chance that it may hit itself in confusion. I mean, it might not. It might ignore it every turn because that happens sometimes. Here's Magby, though, who goes for a same type attack bonus Fire Punch onto Wobbuffet there, taking a good chunk of Wobbuffet's HP away. Now over to Magmortar, who is confused, does hit itself in confusion with a big hit there. Taking itself down to less than half its max HP. That stunned me how much damage that did. Don't forget, by the way, as you saw, please subscribe, turn on all notifications so you never miss anything. There we see Acid Spray from Wynaut to Magby, dropping Magby's special defense by 2 stages. Of course, Wobbuffet had to recharge, so no action was taken by Wobbuffet. Over to Magby once again to start the next turn off, and what's it going to do here? It's going to go for Stealth Rock, which is a waste of a turn. That's a big mistake there by Magby. What will Magmortar do? In response, it's got to do something to make up for its teammate's error. Still confused, though. It's going to actually ignore the confusion this time, though, and go straight in for the attack, and it's going to use Smog Attack. Will that land? It will land, and it's going to land on Wobbuffet there. Doesn't get the poison, though. That's unfortunate for Magmortar because it did such little damage. Here's Wobbuffet, though, with Court Change. I mean, sure, it's going to swap the Stealth Rock to the other side of the field, so it's irrelevant on that side as well. Great job there, Wobbuffet. And now over to Wynaut. What will Wynaut do? Such a happy little bugger. Going to go for Extra Sensory. Again, that'll have same type attack bonus behind it. Onto Magmortar there, bringing Magmortar ever closer to that dreaded danger zone. You got to think, how much damage would that have done to Magby with -2 special defense? That would have rinsed it. Here comes Magby, though, speaking of, and it's going to go for Acid Armor and increase its physical defense by 2 stages. Not a bad play at all there. Your special defense is down, but raise your physical defense in the meantime, just in case you need it. And here's Magmortar, still confused. Going to ignore it once again, though. What's Magmortar got on its mind here? It's going to go for Amnesia and increase its own special defense by 2 stages. That's probably what Magby should have done, to be honest, at this stage of the game. But let's let Magmortar do it. You know, it's going to protect itself in the long run. And here comes Wobbuffet with a Fire Fang. That's not going to be very effective on these Fire-type Pokemon, but it's just enough to creep Magmortar into the danger zone there, so Magmortar needs to watch out. Here comes Wynaut, who's going to go for Laser Focus, wants to guarantee that its next offensive move will be a critical hit. And how is that going to affect Magmortar and Magby going forward if they have to suffer the fate of a critical hit? You got to think that would be the writing on the wall for Magmortar, surely. Here comes Magby, though, starting off the next turn with Eerie Spell, Shades of Galarian Slowking. So that is going to do some not very effective Psychic-type damage to Wobbuffet and also remove 3 PP from Wobbuffet's Metronome there. And now here comes Magmortar once again. What's Magmortar going to do? Going to go for Guard Swap. So it's going to swap. Oh, bad play there. Going to swap all changes to defense and special defense with Wobbuffet, meaning Wobbuffet is now at +2 special defense instead of Magmortar. Wobbuffet goes for Frost Breath. Again, not very effective, but it is going to land on Magmortar there, who doesn't have that special defense protection now, but still didn't do a great deal of damage. Apparently it was a critical hit as well. Here comes Wynaut. What's Wynaut going to do here with, remember, Laser Focus is in play. Goes for Explosion. So it's going to be critical hit Explosion. Is that on everybody? Oh my word. Of course, not on Wobbuffet, because Wobbuffet has telepathy. So it's going to take out Magmortar. It's definitely going to harm Magby quite a bit. Wynaut leaves the field. Yep, critical hit on Magmortar, critical hit on Magby. Wow. Laser Focus Explosion is not something I thought I'd see in a Metronome battle. Magby is now one-on-one with Wobbuffet, and Wobbuffet, of course, has +2 special defense thanks to Magmortar. So Magby has an uphill battle. Remember, Magby is at -2 special defense as well. Here's Poison Powder from Magby onto Wobbuffet, though. So Wobbuffet is now on a timer, but you got to think the advantage is on Wobbuffet here right now. Wobbuffet's in the driver's seat. Goes for Ice Punch. That's not going to be very effective on Magby, but Wobbuffet doesn't need it to be very effective because it just needs to take Magby out in a couple of moves. Just one special attack will do it. Although that poison is wearing down Wobbuffet. It's down to less than half its max HP. Here comes Magby once again, and what's it got on its mind? It must be desperate now. Goes for Sparkling Aria, Shades of Primarina. That's going to do neutral damage to Wobbuffet, although it is a special attack, so didn't do a great deal to Wobbuffet there with that +2 special defense. And here comes Wobbuffet with an echoed voice. How much damage is this going to do? This is a special attack onto Magby there, bringing it into the danger zone, but not quite close enough. The poison is going to bring Wobbuffet into the danger zone. You hear the chimes of the danger zone. What's going to happen? This all rides on what Magby chooses to do here, I believe, because I think Wobbuffet could take it out. Here's an Aqua Tail from Magby. How much damage will that do to Wobbuffet? Is it enough? It's a critical hit. And down goes Wobbuffet. Round 1 to Magby and Magmortar. All right. You know why I'm here. I'm here to tell you that you can use code ACE, this code right here, to save yourself money on G Fuel, the wonderful energy formula. This week's drink of the week, let's call it drink of the week, why not, is Mega Potion, which is jackfruit and mango. I'm not too sure what a jackfruit is. I honestly have no idea. I think I've Googled it once and I still don't quite know where it comes from or what it is. All I know is that when combined with the wonderful power of G Fuel, it makes a fantastic, refreshing beverage that I love so much. This might be one of my favorite flavors. It's not topped Nemesis tea yet, but it's really, really up there. And like I say, you can use code ACE to get yourself 10% off. So why not do that? Oh, it really is really bloody refreshing. That is one of the nicest flavors they've ever done. Remember, over 18s only, because it contains caffeine, because it's caffeinated, drink it responsibly, don't be a dickhead. But if you don't fall into any of them categories, you're not a dickhead and you're not under 18, then by all means, order from G Fuel and use code ACE for 10% off. Welcome back to round 2. Wobbuffet and Wynaut trailing 0-1 against Magmortar and Magby. It was very close at the end of round 1 though, so there's every chance that Wobbuffet and Wynaut could claw their way into a third round to decide who goes through to the semi-finals, although Magmortar and Magby have shown that they very much have the firepower to maybe take this into a guaranteed semi-final placement for them. Here's Razor Shell from Magmortar onto Wynaut for big damage and the defense drop. I think there's a 50% chance of that defense drop, so that's very lucky for Magmortar there. Here comes Wobbuffet starting this round off with Magic Coat. Gonna give itself a little cheeky Magic Coat. Someone draw me a picture of Wobbuffet in a Magic Coat. There we go. Shroud itself with the Magic Coat. Here comes Wynaut though, smiling away. Wynaut's gonna go for Curse, increase its attack and defense by 1 stage apiece and lower its speed by 1 stage. Of course, it's the slowest thing on the field anyway, so it doesn't have to worry too much about its speed. So get the free attack and defense boost. Why not? Haha, there we go. I didn't fall for it this time. I led myself into it. Like when you throw yourself in a nettle bush for a laugh to try and sound hard in front of your mates. Whatever. Here's Toxic, though, from Magby onto Wynaut, which means Wynaut's now on a timer. Regardless of its attack and defense, it's now got, what, like 7 turns before it gets knocked out? Because it's already... Surely it's not good enough for 8 turns. That's not good for Wynaut, though. Here's Flame Wheel, though, with same type attack bonus behind it. From Magmortar onto Wynaut. That's less than 7 turns now with that Toxic. Here comes Wobbuffet, though. What's Wobbuffet going to do in response? It's going to go for Sucker Punch. That's going to fail because it always fails in Metronome battles. And here comes Wynaut. What's Wynaut going to do? Going to go for Fiery Dance. That is not very effective, though, on the Fire type Magmortar there. So just a tiny bit of chip damage, but it is going to increase the special attack of Wynaut by 1 stage. So... for what it's worth, it's a +1 attack, +1 special attack, +1 defense, but it is on that poison timer, which is going to be very, very worrying. That's putting the pressure on for Wynaut and Wobbuffet. Here comes Magmortar, though. Magmortar's ready to go with a Crab Hammer, which is the signature move of Kingler. Big damage to Wynaut there. I don't know why they're targeting the Wynaut. That's the one with the timer. That's the one that's guaranteed to eventually get knocked out. Here's a power swap from Magby, though, onto Wobbuffet. I don't think there have been any stat changes for attack and special attack on Wobbuffet or Magby that I can remember. Here's Wobbuffet, though, who's going to go for Tail Slap. Is it going to get the full 5 hits, though? Goes for Magmortar. Barely any damage, though. Just the 2 hits with the Tail Slap there. And now over to Wynaut, one of its very last moves it's going to be able to use. Goes for double hit, which we know is going to do 2 hits. There's 1 hit on Magmortar with a critical hit. And there's the 2nd hit. And of course, now we're going to see the poison take effect on Wynaut there. That bad poison, bringing it very, very close to being knocked out. It's got 1 turn left in it. If I was Magby and Magmortar, I wouldn't even touch Wynaut this turn. I would just let it succumb to the poison. We see Brave Bird, though, from Magmortar onto which of its opponents here? Onto Wobbuffet. You see, that's the play. Big damage to Wobbuffet. And now it's over to Magby. Of course, Magmortar did take a little bit of recoil damage there, but it was very negligible. Recycle from Magby is going to fail because it's not yet eaten its held berry. So now Wobbuffet has an opportunity to fire back. Goes for Land's Wrath, Shades of Zygarde. That's going to be super effective on both Magmortar and Magby. Doing some decent chip damage there to each of them. Wynaut gets ready for what will be its last move and goes for Fire Lash, which is not going to be very effective. Fire Lash just chipping away at Magmortar there. At least it did some damage on its way out and lowered the defense by 1 stage of Magmortar, which is going to help Wobbuffet going forward. But down goes Wynaut. Wynaut faints, leaving Wobbuffet to try and equalize on its own, which doesn't look good, does it, for Wobbuffet? That really looks concerning, because you've got an almost full health Magby and a very powerful Magmortar just sitting on the other side. Magmortar goes for Flash Cannon. That is going to be neutral damage on Wobbuffet there. Big chunk of damage takes Wobbuffet down to less than half its max HP. And now here comes Magby. Magby's going to go for Retaliate onto Wobbuffet there. I believe that's neutral damage. Yes, because it's a normal type move. You're thinking of Reversal, which is the fighting type move. Yes, I always get those two mixed up. Here's Bug Bite, though. Not very effective from Wobbuffet, but it does mean it's going to eat Magmortar's held berry for what it's worth. So it's going to restore its PP with a Leper Berry. Sure thing, Wobbuffet. Why not? So Magmortar is now sitting in the danger zone, though. It's close to being taken out. If Wobbuffet can just survive a little bit longer, it could be down to just Wobbuffet and Magby once again. Here comes Magmortar, though, who's going to go for Self-Destruct. And how much damage is this going to do to Wobbuffet? Let's have a look. Massive damage to Wobbuffet. Takes all 3 Pokemon out. Whoever's the last Pokemon standing, though, wins the round. So Wobbuffet's last one standing. So the equalizer was just handed to Wobbuffet and Wynaut by Magmortar there. If anybody has any question with the result there, take it up with the game. Because when the game determines the last Pokemon standing on the battlefield is the winner of the battle. So Wobbuffet did indeed win that round by effectively like forfeit. Although Magmortar starts the next round off with a Hyper Beam onto Wobbuffet, saying, "This is what I could have done to you last round." Wow. Of course, Magmortar's going to have to recharge at during the next turn. But here's a Fusion Bolt from Magby in the meantime onto which of its opponents? Onto Wobbuffet. They're doubling into Wobbuffet. They know Wobbuffet is the key player of its team. It's at less than half its max HP now already. Wobbuffet goes for Confusion, which will have same type attack bonus behind it, but you could have gone with a stronger attack than that, Wobbuffet. It did a decent amount of damage with that crit to Magby, but you need a bit more firepower than that. Wynaut has certainly showed itself to be a little bit of a liability here, as it goes for Calm Mind, increasing its special attack and special defense. Not a bad turn 1 move, but Wynaut really hasn't done a great deal during this battle. So Wobbuffet really needs to capitalize against Magby and Magmortar in spite of Wynaut's presence, really. What's Magby going to do starting off the next turn, getting itself ready with that Metronome? It's going to go for Overheat, which of course is the same type attack bonus move, and it's targeting Wynaut this time for a big chunk of damage, but it is going to lose special attack. It's going to lose 2 stages of special attack. Of course, Magmortar has to recharge. This is the opening that Wobbuffet needs to try and turn the tide a bit. Goes for Morning Sun, and that's a great play there. Use this free turn to get your HP back as close to maximum as you can. 50% of Wobbuffet's HP gets restored by Morning Sun. Great play there. And Wynaut follows up with a Shadow Punch onto Magmortar there for a bit of chip damage. Any damage is better than no damage, so by all means, Wynaut, go ahead. Now, of course, Magmortar is going to start the next turn off. And what's it going to do here? It's going to go for Water Spout on both Wobbuffet and Wynaut. It's got quite high HP at the moment, so big damage there to both Wobbuffet and Wynaut. And now Magby is looking for the follow-up. Magby is going to go for X-Scissor, which will be super effective on either of these Pokemon. Big damage to Wobbuffet there, bringing it back down to less than half its max HP. Right back down to, I think, even less HP than before it used Morning Sun. Here we see Spikes, though, from Wobbuffet. That's a wasted turn. That's a mistake right there. You can't be doing this in round 3. So it's over to Wynaut to try and make something of this turn. Wynaut goes for Bite onto Magby there for barely any damage, but they're chipping away slowly but surely. Certainly, Magby and Magmortar are looking a lot more confident right now. They're looking to be in a much more preferable position. We see a Shadow Bone, which will be a super effective Ghost-type move here, onto Wynaut. Not enough to take it down, though. It survives with 13 hit points, and now it's over to Magby. Can Magby take advantage of that big move? Goes for a Volt Tackle. Is it on Wobbuffet? It's on Wobbuffet there, putting Wobbuffet in the danger zone. So now Magby taking that little bit of recoil damage, but Wobbuffet and Wynaut are both in danger here. Wobbuffet's going to fire off Autotomize. It's going to increase its speed and become nimble. But is that too little, too late? Is that even going to make a difference to the battle order? Let's have a look at during the next turn, I suppose. First, let's check out what Wynaut's going to do. Wynaut's going to go for a Fusion Bolt. We've seen this quite a bit in this battle, Fusion Bolt, so let's see how much damage it does to Magby there. It brings Magby down to less than half HP, but Wobbuffet and Wynaut are very much on the ropes right now. This is for a place in the semi-finals of MetroMania Season 11. Wobbuffet and Wynaut can't afford to lose this battle. Wobbuffet goes for Hone Claws. You should not be building your stats right now unless they're defensive stats. You should be healing yourself or you should be attacking the enemy. That's what you should be doing. Here comes Magby, though. And Magby is going to go for Laser Focus, wants to do what Wynaut did in the first battle and guarantee a critical hit. So over to Magmortar now. What's Magmortar going to do during this turn? Magmortar is going to go for Petal Dance. Onto which opponent there, though? Onto Wynaut, which means it's going to Petal Dance Wobbuffet during the next turn, which means Wobbuffet could potentially be suffering in the next turn, I should say. Because if it doesn't restore its HP or take out Magmortar, it is doomed. And Wobbuffet goes for Twister. It could be hoping to flinch Magmortar, which would be a great play. There's the Twister. Magmortar flinches. Wobbuffet avoids the Petal Dance. That was a brilliant play right there. But Magby goes for Super Fang, which is going to half Wobbuffet's already tragic HP, but that means Wobbuffet is going to survive the turn. How did Wobbuffet manage that? It is still in this round. Here comes Wobbuffet once again, though. And it's going to go for Ember, which won't be very effective on Magby there. And as we draw closer to the end of this battle, you've got to think we're close to the end. Magby is going to go for Tackle. And how much damage is that going to do? Is it enough? It is. We take down Wobbuffet with a whimper. And Magby and Magmortar go through to the semi-finals. That was a fantastic battle but Magby and Magmortar showed themselves to be quite the unstoppable force there. Of course, we're going to find out their opponents next week as Azumarill and Azurill take on Electivire and Elekid, so make sure you tune in next week to see that one. So thanks a lot for watching another episode of MetroMania. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Share this video with a friend. Thanks if you've watched this far, by the way, because it helps with my ad revenue and all that, my watch time. And of course, use code ACE for money off G Fuel and head to twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam for all of my live streams. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.